From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast with Scott Sander.
Welcome to the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast. I'm Scott Sander. On this episode,
She Thinks Big Live. It aims to empower female entrepreneurs through professional development, networking, and other practical tools to help you launch into 2024. We find out about a new funding initiative this year. And Ty Shea has tips on what to do if you spot a mistake or two in your books.
Every business is unique and has a target audience. If you own or manage a business, Circulus Digital Media can help you connect and grow your customer base with turnkey digital solutions that are nimble, offering best-in-class results, service, and support to reach a bigger customer base, allowing you to pinpoint a specific audience down to the smallest details. Get outside the city, the state, span the globe. Put Circulus Digital Media to work for you. Get started now at circulusdigital.com. That's circulusdigital.com.
Let's get started. New Year's resolutions certainly abound for business people. Balancing work with family time, scaling your company, living life to the fullest. Andrea Liebross is a mindset and business coach, and she'll be addressing those topics and more this month at an event in Indianapolis. It's called She Thinks Big Live. It aims to empower female entrepreneurs through professional development, networking, and other practical tools to help you launch into 2024. We spoke to her this week about the event.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Getting started.
My name's Andrea Liebross, and I'm a business and mindset coach for female entrepreneurs. I work with entrepreneurs on growing their business, but also maintaining the life that they want to lead. And I recently released a book called She Thinks Big, the entrepreneurial woman's guide to moving past the messy middle and into the extraordinary. When I was writing this book, I realized that I was writing about my own journey. So I worked in a previous job with women who had just started their own businesses in what was called training. But really what I was doing was coaching them through the ups and downs of owning a business. Everybody starts out being a little nervous, but also being very excited. However, quickly they realize that it's a lot of hard work and it's going to potentially interfere with other things going on in their life. And you've got a lot of responsibilities. So helping them get through that, what I call the messy middle now, was really exciting and fun for me to kind of see what could happen and then also see that cycle repeat, because as we grow, you kind of go in stages and that messy middle occurs over and over again, but you get better at it. So that's what really attracted me to working with this group of people. One of the things I've learned is that what really gets in your way is not that you don't know what to do, or sometimes people worry about they don't have the resources. We figure all that stuff out. What gets in the way is you yourself as the business owner. And a lot of that has to do with believing that it is possible to continue to create and grow a profitable business. We come up with a lot of stories about why it can't happen, and we tell ourselves those stories over and over again. But in moving past that is challenging. It's really challenging, especially when you're in it. It's your baby and you're kind of in the weeds with it, and you don't often see what's really going on, or you don't often see the possibilities. When I first started, I actually called myself a possibilities coach because I really was helping these women understand what was possible. So I think that was kind of a bit of a surprise in the sense of it's not really about I don't know what to do or what actions should I take. The surprise came in that the big roadblock is really believing in what's possible. There is that old saying, what got you here isn't going to get you to the next level. And that I think is very, very true. So what gets you past that block is getting creative, trying new things. I like to think of it as a science experiment. I always say, let's try this. Let's put out a new product offering. Let's hire those people. Let's see what happens. It's kind of like you have a hypothesis and let's test it. So if you can adopt that science experiment type of mentality, it really does get you past it. If you stay in fear, which I think is the big roadblock, that's not going to happen. And you're going to try to say, oh, I just don't have enough funding, or I don't have the resources. And they might be true, but they're also excuses because there's always a way to figure that out. So The roadblocks, again, are set up by ourselves, and we've really got to explore all opportunities and possibilities. I think it's really, really important to secure, I call it secure support. So one of the tenets of Thinking Big, which is the title of the book, is securing support. And that support is usually outside of your family, outside of your friends, different than a mentor. A mentor is going to be beside you, but they might not be telling you the whole story, or they might not really be being completely honest. So support is the number one key to moving forward. It's got to happen in order for you to kind of access what I call that future you, or the thinking that you need to continue to grow. My future you, well, I would love to write another book, I think. Don't quote me on that one. But really to get in front of more and more women and help them recognize that there is help out there. They're not alone. So speaking to large audiences, spreading my message through my podcast, books, speaking appearances, and then really bringing them back in and helping them on a ground roots level. That's what I want to do. That is what gets me supercharged. And in fact, I just got a LinkedIn message the other day from a woman who I met online. I did an online presentation about a year ago, and she lives in Nigeria. And she messaged me after that, and we had a conversation, but that was well over a year ago. And she just out of the blue messaged me and said, I have to tell you that conversation that we had a year ago changed my life. I decided to leave my corporate job, start this business, go out on my own, and it's going gangbusters. But I don't think I would have done that or have had the courage to do that unless we have had that conversation. So things like that really almost come out of the blue are really what gets me excited.
Time for access to capital. InnoPower and Elevate Ventures are rolling out a new initiative called Elevate Me. The mission is to support Black, brown, and female entrepreneurs as they launch and grow Indiana-based tech startups.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Access to Capital.
As we start 2024, we should be honest to say that there are a lot of things that we have today in Indianapolis that we didn't have 5 years ago. We've seen a lot of growth in those areas, a lot of resources that have been put in place to support the minority business owner and the growth. But now what we have to do is create more access to those resources, educate people about where those resources are and how they can access those resources. So we're going from just having resources and activities to really creating strategies and tactics to create more access, but also to increase the pool of resources that are available as more people come into the fray to access those resources. So there's stages, right? If I have a young business, I just started business, I'm less than a year old, chances are that I'm not going to be able to walk into a bank and just get a loan, right? I have to build up some kind of history, show some kind of revenue sources to be able to be bankable. But how do we prepare you so that way when you walk into the bank, you're bankable and you're ready to get that loan? So the way we organize the ecosystem to understand that kind of business owner and how we prepare them so that way when they walk into the bank either this year, next year, they can really access that loan. I think that is the next phase of where we are in Indy today, is getting more organized with all of the activities. So we are really helping the business owner. 5 years ago, we didn't have a lot. 5 years later, we have a lot of resources in place to help the business owner. So we've done a good job as a community of creating those resources. Educating the business owner as far as how he or she accesses those resources. So give you an example, LISC Indy, the Indy Chamber, Bankable, all of those entities have come together to create a unified CDFI. The whole goal is to get dollars in the hands of the minority small business owner. So how do we make sure the minority small business owner knows that this resource is available? But how do we also prepare the business owner so when they go to LISC, they're ready to access the resource that has been created for them? So those are the kind of things that we see continuously. Elevate Me has said, you know what, there are huge opportunities in tech. we need to create more pathways for Black and brown Hoosiers to access these opportunities, right? So let's be able to build up infrastructure that allows you to plug in, and then you can grow so you can access all of these opportunities in tech we see in the city today. So today in Indy, that's where we are, which is so much better than where we were. But we have to get organized and be able to connect the dots better and create more awareness about the resources so people can plug into those. A lot of times in business, you have an idea, right? And you want to start a business because you feel like your idea solves a problem and people are going to. So there is a process of making sure that people are actually going to buy your product. I've been guilty of it. I have had lots of great ideas and some of them didn't work. So the process of vetting out your idea, so we say going from idea to aha, meaning my idea can make money, right? That initial process for early stage business, a startup, is so vital. In the Indianapolis business support ecosystem, we're identifying organizations that just play in that area. All they do is work with you to vet your idea and see, can you make money? Once you get to a point where your idea can make money, now you can start building your business around that. So it's another form of market research and analysis to know that, okay, people are actually going to pay for your product or your idea. Or if my idea can't make money, it solves a problem. There's nothing wrong with being a nonprofit that solves a problem. You just know that it's not a business because people are not going to pay for that. So those are the things that we see in Indy today. We have so many Hoosiers who want to solve problems. They've created organizations, ventures to solve problems. So now you just have to go from, can my idea make money, or is my idea a non-profit? I still get to solve a problem, I'm just not going to generate huge profits doing it. When you think through that, it also helps you prepare your business to be bankable. Because now you understand how you're going to generate revenue. You understand the path to doing that. So going on and generating some revenue, so now you can show that to the bank or to the lender that you have made some money and your business can make money. So those are all the things that we're doing. And not just InnoPower, there's so many organizations, the Urban League and the Entrepreneurship Center, LISC, Indy, here at P30. There's so many entities involved in trying to build this infrastructure, understanding that we are truly in our infancy stages here in Indianapolis, which is okay. One thing that we've done in Indy, Indianapolis created a business equity for Indy. What happened is now you take supply diversity and you make it extremely local. With all of our anchor companies coming on board and saying we want to give more contractual opportunities to Black businesses. If I'm a business owner, I could get a $30,000 contract with Purdue. That's still revenue, right? I still have revenue coming in, and now I'm into the infrastructure, and I could grow with Purdue now. So looking for those opportunities, being able to articulate those opportunities, contractual opportunities to businesses, that kind of infrastructure is where we are too. We don't have those things right now. As a business owner, you can't look at an app and see all the contractual opportunities that may be available for you. But all of those things are out there, and we have the opportunity to create such an infrastructure. So yes, the forecast says the economy is going to go through a downturn, but there's also so much opportunity that's never been tapped into that once we start doing that, a lot of our new businesses, which we do have a lot of new businesses in our city today, but we still have a lot of opportunities in our city as well that we haven't reached yet. So the narrative and storytelling from the BE&O show, the optics of seeing Black business owners, Hispanic business owners on a weekly basis inspires so many, right? We see a lot of our business owners who see the show and then now they feel like, I gotta get on that show, right? I gotta tell my story. And we didn't have this before. So we have so many opportunities to do that because we've used the word opportunity so much because it is there. But there's so many people that don't know that opportunity exists. So we just have to connect those dots, because as an entrepreneur, if you feel like there's an opportunity, then your grit and everything takes over, because now you're on the pursuit for that opportunity. But if you wake up feeling like that doesn't exist, life is rough as an entrepreneur if you don't feel like there's an opportunity. So in Indianapolis, we are so lucky that our city is so much in its emphasis stages of growth. There are a lot of growth opportunities in the city, from IU Health and the project, what they're doing there. The city of Indianapolis, the hotel being built downtown. So much happening in our city because the city is growing. So in a growth time comes so much opportunity. We just need to connect the dots better.
Time on business equity and opportunities to talk about accounting and bookkeeping. We typically try to keep it positive in this conversation. After all, making money is the goal of the game. Ty Shea knows that well as CFO of Circle City Broadcasting and one of our longtime contributors. That all having been said, Ty, I'm going to cast you in the role of somebody who helps us handle when things don't go well. Let's, for instance, take a hypothetical situation where we look at our books and we realize that despite our best efforts, we've made a material error somewhere. We've recorded something wrong. A, does that actually happen from time to time? And B, how do we handle it?
Sure. That's actually a really good question. And Scott, it's great to see you again. I mean, of course, an error can happen, a mistake can happen. From my perspective, it's always important to own it and get out in front of it, right? And so let's say you submitted, a financial statement or something erroneous to your tax preparer, perhaps your banker, as part of, your loan agreement. The important thing is one, acknowledge it, right? Get out on the front foot, let them know, hey, this issue, I became aware of this issue. It's always better if you catch it, right? You caught it. Step two, probably let them know steps you're taking to mitigate so that something like that won't happen again. And then step three, usually it ends up in providing, say revised financials or something like that. Especially if it's something, it was a mistake, it wasn't intentional. In my experience, in dealing, whether it's a taxing authority or a lender or something like that, as long as you're communicative, right, and you're not trying to hide it or anything like that, there's always a path out, right? And so, nobody's looking to shut your business down. Unless you're being, truly negligent. And so the path forward is always fix it as soon as you can, and be communicative about it.
So it runs contrary to maybe our inner instinct, which is, the kid from years ago who threw the baseball and broke mom's lamp. If you could glue it, she'd never know. This is not the way to approach these things.
No. And like I said, there are people, believe it or not, who want to help. When an issue arises, people you may feel like are on the other side of the fence. They're there to help you, and that has been largely my experience throughout my entire career.
Not that we want to make a practice of making mistakes, but is there, though, an opportunity to show your professionalism by the way you do handle this? In other words, your creditors aren't just creditors now. You're hoping to access capital from them in the future. This seems to be an opportunity to show to them, oh, this is a responsible person, even in a time that is unexpectedly tough.
No question. You always want to play the long game, right? And your reputation is built on how you react in situations like this, and how ideally you want that relationship where it's not about them against you. They're trying to help you. They become an advisor for you. And so to nurture that relationship is first and foremost based on trust. And so to do so, requires you to be truthful and forthcoming.
And to that end, too, there's no obligation that you sound a foghorn and put up a searchlight and let everyone know this happened. It probably only has to do with people who have an vested interest in your financial bottom line.
Yeah, the users of your financial statements, or if it's a taxing authority or whoever. But yes, it's those are the folks that you're accountable to, and so as long as they're aware, you've done your job.
you've been a good fireman for us today, putting out the hypothetical fire that we hope we don't see, but certainly need to have to handle if we do. Taishe, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Scott. Take care.
Our thanks again to all the contributors who joined us for this episode of the Business Equity and Opportunities podcast. We hope you found it enlightening, useful, and inspiring. You'll find more information about the show on our website, beoshow.com. You can watch Business Equity and Opportunities Sunday mornings at 10 on Wish TV or live stream it through wishtv.com. Each week we provide 7 full segments with topics ranging from how to get started and how to access capital to the day-to-day running of your business and questions about accounting and bookkeeping. We feature business news and trends and always share a success story from one of our contributors. Join us next time for more insights into the world of small business. Be sure to sign up for our Business Equity and Opportunities newsletter to get even more valuable, up-to-date information. And if you have any questions or you'd like to be part of our show, please email us. The address is beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Scott Sander. Thanks for listening.
Watch the Business Equity and Opportunity Show on Wish TV and access all of our content and share it on demand anytime at beoshow.com. You can find more podcasts from Wish TV on the All Indiana Podcast Network at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.